Hello, everyone, and welcome to Healing Conversations and Unapologetic Transitions. My name is Jonte Gibson Bryan, and this is my story. This is my way of offering to you healing conversations so that you can transition unapologetically, just as I am attempting to do. So, I wasn't even going to share this story today, and yet, as I was upstairs in the bathroom getting ready, something came to my remembrance. This something is called bulimia. This something was a secret struggle of mine. Now, I want to put it out there that I am not a dietitian. I am not a therapist. I am not a physician. I am not any of those things where I can prescribe you any kind of medical help or assistance. However, I am a human being, and I am sharing my experiences first for me because I'm still healing through it all, and then for you, and then for the generations of girls to come after us. After all, we overcome him, Satan, by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. And it has been my experience that shame and secrets, that's just a way to keep us in prison. And I want to be free. I am free, because whom the Son sets free is free indeed. This is about my bulimia situation, story, secret. This is the first time I'm communicating that out loud. Secretly, no one knew, or maybe they did and no one dared to say anything. However, I am endeavoring to share this as I have overcome and I am continuing to overcome. So, when vomiting after eating was first introduced to me, I don't think it was introduced with the thought that it would become what it did become. I was simply told that if you stick a toothbrush in the back of your throat, you can make yourself throw up. So for nearly 15 years, that's exactly what I did. I guess I didn't look like what you think someone with an eating disorder such as bulimia would look like. It was obvious that I had an eating disorder, but obesity, a body that had morphed and was morbidly obese, was my issue. But secretly and silently, I was a binge and purger. More times than I can count on my hands or that I can even remember. I would eat to capacity. I never really liked the full feeling. So once I got to full, I would go in the bathroom, turn on the faucet, turn on the fan in the restroom as well, grab my toothbrush, get on my knees, stick the toothbrush in the back of my throat, and purge. Only to leave the restroom to eat again. For years, 15 as I mentioned before, that has been my experience. Now, it's been 6 months, maybe a year, since I remember the last time. But yet, it's a part of my story, a very secret part of my story, but it's a part of my story. It is something that I have overcome and that I'm overcoming. It is a part of my process. I am a black girl who struggled with bulimia. I can't say I've ever heard that before. I can't say that I have another black girl that I can go to as a reference point and see how she came over it. And maybe this video won't even suffice in giving you the answer to overcome yours. But I believe there is something powerful that happens when we stop believing we're the only one. Let me encourage you in this. Stop allowing shame to rule your life. Stop allowing the bondage of these secret things to hold you hostage and prisoner to a person you cannot even identify. You look in the mirror and a stranger is looking back at you. That was my story for many years. Often that was equated to the obesity, but the obesity wasn't the only thing. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I've heard how sometimes people find comfort in pain, i.e., that's why people get tattoos or a lot of piercings. Aesthetically, they may like the tattoo, but there is this release that happens when painful experience is incited within one's body. The same was happening to me each time I would purge. Vomiting is not a pleasurable experience, and yet the release of all of the food that was in my stomach by force, because the force needed to be there to make the experience pleasurable. It was euphoric. It was a drug. It was a drug. That's why for so many years I went back to it. I pray about it. I asked God to take this away. Secretly, I was doing it, or so I thought. I believe my children heard me vomit and my husband on numerous occasions. And yet it's never been talked about. It's never been discussed. That's not something I've shared with friends or family. That's not something I've shared as I have insisted on this female empowerment stance that I take. That is one of the little secrets that I've had hidden, being the black girl who's suffering with bulimia. That is my story. And at this point, that is a part of my history. So let me encourage you in this. You are not the only one, girl. You are not the only one, sis. You are not the only one, friend. I can relate. I know what that felt like in those moments. Only I partially understand why I was doing it. Only I and only God can judge us. Enjoying me back here as we continue to heal and transition unapologetically. I'm sharing my truth just in case in this moment you don't have the capacity to share yours. Thanks.